Bockwinkel. Nick went in action against, no doubt, a rugged challenger, a guy who's had his eye on it and was determined to win it. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of the bout between Nick Bockwinkel, world heavyweight champion, and the challenger, Jerry the King Lawler. heavyweight title at stake. Jerry the King Lawler in the, while not totally foreign role, but in the unusual role of challenger against the Southern and the world champion Nick Bockwinkel.
And I've been listening to Nick Bockwinkel's commentary, if you want to call it that. And let me just say this, Nick. Listening to you is about as exciting as watching the grass grow. Do you know what I'm talking about? I mean, you are as dull and as droll as a human being can possibly be. And I might add that your ability in the ring somewhat exceeds your ability to enunciate, but not by much.
Well, okay, Jerry.
He finished grade school down in this part of the country, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I listen to you out here, and I think you try to impress people with all the big words and all the, you know, the fine manner of speech that you use. But all of that talking is not going to get you anywhere, because, as you know, that when you step in the ring with me, you know, all that talking is not going to do you one bit of good. You're going to have to prove it right there in that ring, and that's what I've been waiting for a long, long time.
May I say that, first of all, if my big words seem to put you a little bit off center, and if a lot of the fatuous, cretinous humanoids out there don't understand some of my big words, do understand one thing. I'm not talking to you or to your fans. I'm talking to my fans. My fans understand every bit of English I use, and the rhetoric that I give is for them, not for you and yours.
Is that right?
And
well, I
then
understand that they have your fan club meeting in a phone booth down here on Union Avenue.
Quality does not have to come in size, my boy. And besides, as you just said, maybe I use a lot of words and that doesn't do the job in the ring. Let me just say that this thing here is emblematic. It is symbolical of the peak, the pinnacle, and the finest, the zenith in our sport today, the heavyweight championship of the world. So it does seem strange that this giant gold and silver diamond-studded license plate And my big words all do go together, don't they?
No,
Well,
he does have the belt.
Let me just say this. He does have the belt for the time being. But always remember this, Nick Bockwinkel. I've gone through a lot of tough contenders to get this shot at you. And I've got this shot at you. And I'm going to make the very best of it. Believe me, I'm going to start 1984 off with a bang. It's going to be the greatest year of my career because I'm going to enjoy wearing that big gold and silver diamond-studded license plate, as you like to call it, because I'm going to leave the ring with it. I want you to make no mistake about that. And always remember this. And there are not many wrestlers that can say this, but I, Nick Bockwinkel, have beaten you, and you know it. And you also know that if I have beaten you once, I can and will beat you again. That's all I got to say.
Well,
It has been over an hour since the bout in which you defended the title against Jerry the King Lawler, Nick.
A lot of people ask, they want to know, how long does it take you to unwind? And in actuality, the pain of the pounding that I had to take still hasn't set in. Your adrenaline's still running too high. About 3 hours usually. About the time you're getting ready to fall asleep. And then, of course, the real hell comes when you wake up the next morning. A lot of people wonder what goes on right after a championship match. And I'm going to tell you, because as it has gone on many times in the past, it's exactly what has happened tonight. In this past hour, I have been informed, if you want to use the expression by my friends, associates, or stooges, that the phone of Stanley Blackburn, who is a man who I seem to have a terrible time to reach when I try to reach him, with problems I have, with things that need decisions made by the championship committee, but it has already filtered back to me that because of the outcome of tonight's match, because I accidentally struck a referee, that, needless to say, your promoter, and, of course, Stanley Blackburn, wanting to treat all of you nice humanoids properly, is talking about a rematch. Let's not kid each other. It's coming down the wire. They're pushing for it. There are those Lawler backers on the championship committee who want to see him the world's heavyweight champion. And I know this. Now, I'm going to propose something because I know the way the politics of my sport and my business works. I could put it off. I could put it off with all sorts of cute little things, not answering my phone, leaving the one city, going to the next, just avoiding people. It would take weeks before paperwork could be signed, and we could play all sorts of technical games. You know how the bureaucracy is. But it's going to come down. Now, somebody asked, how do you feel? Well, the pain in my jaw, the pain in my head is really bad. I can feel it. I'm still functioning. But tomorrow morning, I'll probably be having soup for the next 2 or 3 days because I doubt if I'm going to be able to chew anything. And for one simple, pathetic reason. This great man, Jerry Lawler, who they think has the ability and the talent to be a world's heavyweight champion wrestler, I think everybody's missing the point. The name on the marquee is wrestling. On the world's heavyweight championship belt, it says wrestling. Now, in the first 15 minutes of this match that took place tonight, Lawler never saw daylight because I dominated it with wrestling. I used a forearm. I took, and a little later, used some more forearms. But no, not Mr. Lawler. All Mr. Lawler knows how to do good, and I'm going to tell you this right now, and you know it, and I'm sure you'll agree. Man throws a hell of a punch. Whoa. When I start sucking soup through a straw for the next 3 days, that'll be my testament to it. Only because I'm still hot and the adrenaline's still flowing through my bones and my body is the jaw working. I doubt if it'll work tomorrow morning because that's when the cold and the agony and the pain will really set in. Now, Lawler, if you couldn't punch, what would you do? I really want to know. And I'll tell you what, I just perked the curiosity of all your cretinous humanoids sitting out there. They would want to know, what would you do? Now, I'm going to make it easy for Stanley Blackburn and your promoter. I'm going to take and bring this match, I'm going to move it up quick. If Monday night is open, it is for me, and you can put it together in the Coliseum, I want $500 a punch. Did you catch that?
Lawler to pay you and you to pay Lawler?
No. I'm making it easy by giving him a chance at the heavyweight championship again because I know they're going to try and shove it down my throat eventually anyway. So to entice it, to maybe bring it back a little quicker, make it happen a little quicker, rather than 3 or 4 or 5 months down the line, if you are willing to agree to $500 a punch, because you see, Lawler, you probably got a very nice streak in your body and you don't want to give up $500 a punch, not the way you throw them. And the point really comes down to this. You don't want to give up that much money, and if you can't throw a punch, you know what you can't do? You can't beat me because you cannot wrestle, and I can. That's why I'm the world's heavyweight champion, and that's why you're a contender.
He was coming into the ring. Once again, Bockwinkel with a sleeper. Lawler shakes him off. He shook him off, and now he's got Bockwinkel. Hart fighting with referee Paul Morton. He's suplexing back into the ring. Here's Austin Idol. 1, 2, 3. He got him.
Wait a minute, Mr. Morton. You're the referee. He was on this side of the ring. He was thrown over the top rope, and that stopped everything.
Well, I got the title back?
I'm going to hold the title up.
What do you mean you're going to hold it up? Hold it up by what?
I'm holding
No way. There's no way
I'm holding it up. We're going to take it before the committee, and I've got a tape of the whole thing. He threw him over the top rope right there. And
you cannot. He cannot hold up the title. He cannot. I'm supposed to be the champion. I'm the champion.
What he's saying is true. I know what he's saying in there, but...
And it'll show up on the tape. It'll show up on the tape. The committee will look at it with me, but I saw him throw him over the top rope. You no longer have the title. It's being held up. Maybe you've got it, and maybe Mr. Lawler's got it, but it's being held up for the time being.
Hearken forsooth, lo and behold, where does it take me? To Memphis, to Mr. Jerry Lawler, who has for ages called himself the king of wrestling. And a lot of cretinous humanoids in that part of the country seem befit to call him the king of wrestling, when in actuality, folks, you are looking at the king of wrestling, the king of sport. Now, I really don't care to wrestle you. I really don't. I don't consider you a great wrestler. You're a hell of a man as far when it comes to Fifth City. But that's not the name of the game. But you still have cut your niche. And it won't make any bit of difference. Because as the lights seem to be going out, they're going to go out for you, my man, because I'll give it to you plain and simple. I'm going to get away from Memphis, Tennessee, and I'm still going to be the heavyweight champion, and I'll enjoy kicking you from post to post all over. Well,
But Calhoun again is still not with it. Bockwinkel is counting himself. He's picking Jerry Calhoun up. Lawler puts Bockwinkel down. 1, 2. He got him. Jerry, can we get you the new world champion? I can't get the mic up. Oh, we love it. The king, the new world heavyweight title holder. Unbelievable. The crowd absolutely stunned. Lawler, the champion. Time was 19 minutes and 20 seconds. 19:20, and the new champion is Jerry Lawler.
That is probably going to be the biggest lie you ever told in your life.
The referee counted it 1, 2, 3. Champion, I've seen you in great fights, but he beat you 1, 2, 3.
Get off of it. You got to be kidding me. I beat him from pillar to post. This is what I have consistently said. The officiating in the South is totally prejudiced, and tonight was an example in...
He counted 1, 2, 3, Nick. He had you down on the mat and 1, 2, 3.
You've been at this microphone long enough. Who are you trying to jack around?
Well, I saw.
Now, you saw
he
what?
Counted 1,
Yes,
2,
you
3.
Did your eyes, you have 4 of them, I notice, see anything else? Or don't the glasses go to the other side of the ring?
I don't know what you're referring to. I saw the shoulders down.
You saw the shoulders down. The damn bottom rope in this part of the country is 6 inches higher than regulation any place else, which means my feet had to be up there on the balcony. Now, come on, I'm asking you.
You're not. The loss is there.
These cretinous humanoids who suffer from cranial-anal impaction 6.5 days out of the week, I am sure will send their tens of thousands of letters to Stanley Blackburn saying he beat him right in the middle of the ring. Now, if anything happens to the tape of this match, and I hope we don't have a Nixon doctoring job here. I hope we don't have that, because if these people accept it, then they are showing how cheap they are in class, in attitude, and in style of living. Because if Lawler takes that as a victory, he's the cheapest man I've ever known in sports. And if these fans back him, likewise for them, likewise for you, and likewise for everybody here in the South. This issue is not resolved, and you are looking at the world's heavyweight champion. You are talking to him, and Stanley Blackburn, I am sure, will go along with what I've said.
Dick, I gave you more class than that. He beat you right in the middle of the ring.
Oh, boy, are you showing your lack of class by accepting that cheap so-called victory and saying he's the world's heavyweight champion? Lance Russell, grow up. Why don't you move north or out west of California?
Time